Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching Amtv Alternative Media Television. It is, of course, February 15th, 2019. Please take a moment and like and share this video. Get it out to your friends and family, and also click the bell. Make sure you get our video in your subscription feed. So today is a very, very important day. Donald Trump, this is breaking all across the news wires, declared a declaration of a national emergency here in the United States of America, bypassing Congress, which he has the legal authority to do. And we predicted here at AMTV Alternative Media Television over a month ago. In fact, January 6, 2019, I did a video titled that Trump would declare a declaration of national emergency regarding the border wall. And I've been saying this for the last several weeks. In fact, I tweeted, make sure to follow me on Twitter, at AMTV Media, click the link below. Even 2 days ago, I said that Friday, today, would be the perfect day for Trump to declare the declaration while most people were sleeping on a Friday. But here's what's important about this video. It's not that announcement, which we expected was coming, which my sources told me was coming long in advance of the mainstream media, long in advance of any sources that I'm familiar with. What people might be missing is we see the talk now, oh, it's going to be moving through the courts, it's going to take several years, it's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court, and it'll be dead in the water. What people don't see is we, as the American people, won't even get that far. Listen to what I am saying. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth. We, as the American people, won't even get that far. You see, the next declaration won't be an emergency of the border wall. It will be the declaration of war with Russia and China. These are the trade negotiations. Whether or not Donald Trump likes it or not, this is what he faces. This is what America is facing ahead, something far worse. We are facing a global economic shock, a reset beyond anyone's, probably even my own, which is hard to believe, expectations. Now, we've seen this over the last decade. I've reported on this exclusively at Alternative Media Television, having come from the banking world, having worked for Merrill Lynch, a mainstream Wall Street firm. SDRs, special drawing rights, a new basket of digital currencies from the state. Okay, the central banks, the competing central banks, the equivalent of the IMF of the East, Russia, China, India, the BRICS nations are working on not just completely dumping the US dollar, and we see this with the sale of their treasuries, but replacing it completely. And no longer in the very near future will the US dollar back the largest trade in the world, big oil. Now, this is one of the reasons Donald Trump, he's doing a really good job of this. We've increased production so much here in the United States so that we're not dependent on the rest of the world. It's why his sights and politician sites all around the world right now are on the protests going on overseas, whether or not it's in France or really all over Europe, as we are leaning towards, I mean, this is already official, but a Brexit in the UK. And we are watching this domino effect. In fact, George Soros came out just about a week ago and said basically the whole European Union is a failed experiment. It's in flames. And unless they hold it together, this modern order will collapse conveniently into the new world order, of course, which they intend. So Trump has already started, by the way, many of you also know this, building the wall. He was building the wall weeks and months ago. He has mobilized our military. You see, he's not going to need approval even from the Supreme Court when in the future there is an emergency event. This is also why they were running drills in Los Angeles just about a week ago as well. They've been running drills. We even saw this years ago at Jade Helm all over the country. They are preparing for the worst case scenario in city streets of America, whether or not this is LA, San Francisco, New York, Chicago. There's a reason why there's so many people, at least the smart ones, are fleeing those plantation digital smart city grids and are fleeing those areas because, well, most of us know what's coming, or at least we should. You know, this economic collapse is very, very real. And Trump's doing all the right things. I mean, he is a great president. God bless our president. God bless the vice president. God bless what they're doing in Washington, D.C. But we heard the warnings from Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer yesterday. I'm not really going to go into it in this video because there's certain things I just can't. But they made it pretty clear if let's say Nancy Pelosi was president, what she would do in regards to our Constitution and more importantly, our Second Amendment. I'll put up an article on the screen. I mean, read it for yourself. So Trump isn't going to need to wait. There's not going to be a period of months or years as this barks up the tree of legislation all the way up to the Supreme Court. Trump's not even going to need it. You see, at a time of war, anything can happen. The gloves are off. There are no rules. Just like there were no rules in 2008 and 09 when they bailed out the banks. There are no rules. There are no laws in times of an emergency, in times of an event. We saw this in World War II with the rounding up of innocent Japanese Americans into FEMA camps. And we'll see it again here in the United States. This is what we've been warning about here at AMTV, Alternative Media Television. It's why we've urged you to prep. It's why we've urged you to pray for the sanctity and safety of our people so that there would be a mass awakening. Because there is hope. No, God is in control, but we know what's coming. Also, I wanted to give a quick shout. I noticed John McAfee, of the kingpin of the antivirus software, gave us a shout out yesterday on Twitter. Mentioned me by name. He's currently out in the Bahamas in exile. They're working, I think U.S. authorities are potentially working on his extradition. Just wanted to say thanks. Thank you for the quick mention on Twitter, John. My team and I have been following what's going on, and we wish you well. God bless you. Thank you for what you're doing for the blockchain community. Again, guys, this is a war. And today, with the events actually transpiring, again, something we warned about over a month ago, we told you was coming. Now we're telling you, and I'm telling you what's coming ahead. We are in a state of war here in the United States of America. We are at a state of war worldwide. This is what these biblical sanctions are against Iran, against Russia. We've seen the rhetoric and the war of words coming from the mouth of the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, just in recent days. They are planning for the culmination of this tribulation and of these series of events that are already pre-written in the book, my friends. This is here and this is coming. So please share this video, get it out to your friends and family, understand the events that are about to transpire. We are talking a worst case scenario in the city streets of America. We are talking a total military lockdown. Of course, Trump is building the border right now. Of course, he's going to authorize military units and assets to do that. We are at war right now. There is an invasion right now at our border. He's right about that. Now, we know what the agenda is. We know what those that are the enemies of our country from within. We know what their intent is. And it's why Donald Trump is combating it with every inch of his heart, soul, mind, and breath. But you need to understand, we're not even going to get to the Supreme Court on this border wall. No, it's just going to be done. And we have major events coming to America. We've been warned. You've been warned. There are no excuses. There was an ICBM warning, which was a government test, in my humble opinion. And I think they probably had good reason to run it out in Hawaii. See what that scenario would potentially look like, where they warned about a ICBM coming in, ready to hit Hawaii at any moment. In fact, local Hawaiians, I've got family out there, were throwing their children down into the sewer pipes, thinking that they were going to be struck at any moment. You've been warned. Now, one thing I will put out there is Trump is taking way too much credit for the success of the economy, although I would say that his presidency is responsible for blowing the bubble even bigger. This is going to pose major, major problems in the very, very near future. We're talking total collapse of our financial markets. We're talking the eradication of 401ks, retirement accounts. We are talking about Americans panicking in a financial panic. that will be worse than anything we've ever seen, far worse than 08 and 09. And it won't recover like it did in 08 and 09. The only way to reset this debt, to reset this system, and to truly negotiate with countries like Russia and China and others is not with a piece of paper. It's through war. Global economic debt reset, the emergence of a new world reserve currency. And don't think the United States is just going to sit idly by while that takes place. They're not. So the next thing I'm looking for, and the next thing you should be looking for, is an escalation of events in our own country, because we're not going to need to wait 2-3 years. This stuff is happening now, hard-hitting and in your face. So please be prepped. Please share our video worldwide. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't already have food and water storage, at least 6 months, I recommend please consider it at our store. Click the link below. We've got a few units left of our emergency shutdown boxes. They're amazing, provides everything you need for you and your family to survive in a crisis. If and when there's a supply disruption and you can't get to the grocery store for maybe a few days or longer, all things that I know are coming to this country. So please be prepped. God bless you, and thank you so much.